Hey guys, welcome back to Beach and Fishing. Paul with you here again today. Beach and Fishing, my site and channel aimed at everything to do with fishing. My collar's up here annoying me. Everything to do with fishing, opinions, thoughts, what I like, what I don't like, even though some things I don't like work well. So just covering everything to do with fishing. Today I'm going to go through with you my 11 accessories or kayak accessories for fishing. So these are the things that I think, I normally take with me on my kayak. Some people take less, some people take more. And as I always say, the great thing about fishing is everyone has an opinion. Everyone has things that work for them. There's other things that sometimes I take in a kayak, but I think the thing to remember with that is that you only have a certain amount of real estate when you're on a kayak. So trying to fit all this stuff in can be a little bit difficult if you're on a smaller model. I have what is mine, an 11-foot model, 10-foot model. So it fits all of this stuff just, I will say, with the extra rods and stuff that I like to take. But let's run through the 11 options that I have got. Now, I've got some of them here. Some of them I haven't, but I'll try and give you a visual on some way, shape or form on what each of them are I'm looking at. First thing is a life jacket. Now, where I fish, in the state that I live in, Australia here, a life jacket is mandatory on a kayak if you are fishing or for recreational use. Kayaks, in other areas, you just have to carry them on board, and some areas you don't need them at all. So always check with your jurisdiction as where you live as to what you need in terms of a life jacket. I like this one here. It is flat, and effectively what happens is if I pull on this little thing here, it pumps up. So the reason this one's quite good is because it doesn't get in the way. I can move around, I can move my kayak from here, there and everywhere else. It has a whistle in it, and there's a little canister in here that I need to check every now and then. The only downfall of this one is it has a little sensor here. So if I fall in the water, it's going up. And I've seen people forget about that and jump in the water and blow their life jackets up without thinking, and then all you need to do is just go down and replace the canister, which I think is about $10. But yeah, so the first thing that I recommend, and for some places it's more than a recommendation, it's a legal requirement, like where I live, you'll need yourself a life jacket. Second option, trolley. This is a kayak trolley. Now if I take you to the post, you can see where my kayak trolley sits. That's my kayak in front of my house there. A little kayak trolley there is, trust me, if you've tried to move everything to the waterway with your kayak, your rods and reels and everything, all the other junk that I'm telling you to take with you here, if you can put your kayak on a trolley and just wheel it along with all that stuff already in, one trip, much easier. And kayaks are cumbersome and a little bit heavy. So get yourself a kayak trolley. That's my second option there. Third option, a few of the options I talk about today are actually all about once you catch the fish. In posts that I've written about rods for kayak fishing, whether it be a casting rod or a spinning rod or even telescopic rod, I always recommend getting a smaller length, 6 to 8, 5 to 7 footers, 7 foot the absolute maximum. Part of the reason for that is because you've got a big long rod, trying to get the fish off the end while you're sitting in a kayak is a little bit difficult. I've done it, most people I fish with on a kayak done it, you end up dropping the reel in the water, holding the rod, then the reel goes in the water, which you don't want, but it happens. The longer the rod, the harder that is. One of the things to help you with that is, dig it out from everything else under here, because of course I put stuff on it and in it, is a net. This one's a rubbery type material. It's extendable, so I can pull a little thing out there and it extends. That is extended, sorry, or I can push it in there and it's a lot smaller, so I can fit it in a smaller area. Perfect for the kayak because it's light. You can't obviously feel that on the video, but this is nice and light. I can scoop up the fish even in a longer rod and I don't lose the fish over the edge, especially in a kayak where for us, in some of the species we take are very good at spitting out hooks. Flathead and the like are very, very good at spitting out hooks. So if you get them in a net, less chance of losing them as you try and pull them in. Same as the reason you have a net or a gaff hook in a boat. Need a net for a kayak. Next one I've got here is literally something I don't use a lot, a leash. Now what this does is this connects to the little, most kayaks have some little silver hooks along the side. If you have a look at mine's, it's a bit hard to tell in that picture. I use them occasionally. You can see the little eyelets or hooks on the side of the kayak. This clips on, that goes on, clips around your paddle, and then you paddle along with that attached. If you've ever dropped a paddle over the side of a kayak whilst fishing, you'll know how good these can be. Mine floats, which sometimes I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, because if it's in a current, it's gone before you've even really realised, and it's a long drift back down to try and find it, trust me, especially if you're by yourself. So get one of these to stop yourself losing your paddle. Some paddles don't float, which again, if you're in deep water, down she goes, and you've either got a very deep swim to find it, or you've got to swim, if you can see it, at the bottom to go down and get it anyway. And if you've got current and non-floating, you've got a double deal there, so use that. Next one I haven't actually got with me, what are we up to? Number 5, waterproof bag. These can be anything from a little satchel into a large bag. I've got a larger bag. I can't show it to you now because my son actually took it to school today with his swimming gear in it. But it's a plastic bag and it's got a little like creasing at the top, so it creases open and shut like that. I don't know if that makes sense, or I'm just making funny fish symbols with my hands here. But it sort of pierces open, you put everything in and it snaps shut, and then it folds over and it's waterproof inside. I have a little plastic satchel that I use, about the size of that box actually, and what it is it just fits your phone and wallet and keys inside, seals up on top. Put that in the dry well of your kayak, keeps everything nice and dry. So it doesn't really, I don't really care what size it is. It can be just a plastic bag, but you'll need something to keep your stuff dry, because again, you're in water, things get wet, your sleeves get wet, your hands get wet, everything gets wet, and a dry waterproof bag is the next option. After that, we're heading into, probably could have put these at number, what have we got? Life jacket, trolley, and net. Probably could have put this at number 4, tools. I bought this for the kayak. It's got a little clip on it, so it clips on. I clip it onto a little wire lead that goes inside my kayak. Pliers and scissors are an absolute must on a kayak. Same as the next one, which are fish lip grippers. I haven't got one of them here, mainly because, to be honest, I can't find it. I think I left it in the car. But what it is, same with pliers. Basically, as the fish comes up, you can grip it by the lips. These can hurt the fish, whereas the lip grippers are a little bit more rubbery and they just hook inside the lips. Again, on a kayak, you've got limited space. So anything like this that you can use to help get hooks out of fish, fix equipment, cut line. Also, a knife is another option here. You should always have. Again, I like this one. It's got a little clip on it. So you can cut bait, cut lines, anything like that. If you don't have pliers and a knife on a kayak, you will wish you did, especially if you're trying to get a hook out of a fish that has swallowed it. Lip grippers and the pliers are very, very good for that. Imagine having a kayak flapping all over the bottom of the kayak. Sorry, having a fish flapping all over the bottom of the kayak and trying to get hooks out with your hands and stuff like that. They've got spikes in them and the like. So my number, what are we up to? Number 6 recommendation for kayak accessories, tools, and a knife. In fact, after the life jacket and trolley, these would be number 3, even before a net, to be honest, because you can at least grip the fish with your fish lip grabber, even without a net, and pull it into the boat that way. And obviously, if you've got a rod hole, if you've got a kayak that only has 2 rod holders in it, and you want to take two rods, it's a bit hard to put your net. I have 4, so I put the net at the beginning and 2 rods at the back. If you've only got 2 rod holders, then fish lip grippers or pliers would be an absolute must. For again, when you catch fish, trying to get it into the kayak, dealing with all that. Which takes me to our next one, which actually doesn't take me to my next one. Our next one is sun protection. Obviously, I wear a shirt like this. This is a proper fishing shirt. It gets a bit warm in summer, but I just take it off and wet it. Other things you can get is this is a little, I use it on my head if it's hot, and a hat underneath it. I wet it. Or obviously, if you don't want to wear a big shirt, you can go around your neck, keeps you sunny. I have a straw hat, which if I'm being honest, I don't really like using. The hat gets in the way, and I like a cap. And if I wear a cap, like a trucker's cap or something, I'll wear this around my neck just to keep the sun off. Sunscreen, obviously, because if you're in the kayak for a lot of time, you've got the sun coming off the water. You've got the sun obviously coming straight down on you. You can get burnt quite easily, and it can be very uncomfortable if you're out there for a while and starting to get burnt. Your legs will get burnt because the way your legs are seated on the kayak, and a lot of times we don't wear long pants when we're out in the kayak. So again, sun protection, some good sunscreen and the like. Okay, I mentioned before about once you caught your fish, one option that some people like to use, and a little accessory, is a keeper bag. What this does is when you catch your fish, you throw it in this bag and tie it to the side of your kayak. The fish stays in the water. I like to use this. I'm one of these fishermen that we love eating the fish that we catch, but I won't catch a fish. I won't keep a fish if I'm not going to have the opportunity to eat it. I can't see the point in just keeping it. What I like to do is if I've caught a fish and it's nice and healthy, like I've just got the hook through there, I actually put it in a keeper bag, which keeps it alive quite happily until I catch a second or a third. I don't like just bring one home. To me, it's a waste of time. If you're someone who always throws, if you're a catch and release fisherman, take this off the list. You won't need a keeper bag. The only thing to be careful with keeper bags is if you have cut the fish in any way and there's a little bit of blood, if you've got over the side, that can attract larger species, such as where I am, there's bull sharks in the estuary, so we sometimes are a bit more careful with our keeper bags. But a keeper bag is something you can have. And on the other side of the fence, if you are someone who's going to keep your fish, you can humanely euthanize them while you're on the boat, put them all in that, and then you've got them all in one place. You just pick them up and take them with you. You don't necessarily have to keep them in the water that way. So keeper bag. And I've mentioned real estate a little bit, so my 10th option here is a bait holder. This is a belt one. Use it for surf fishing or for in the kayak. I use it in the kayak because again, given a lot of real estate, so if we catch live bait too. We catch what we call yabbies, which are little crustaceans. You can put all your yabbies in that. Then while you're fishing, you can just pull them out of that and put them in. Saves you again having to have a bait bucket sitting on your kayak or something like that. And again, they're good in the surf too because you can take them down and have them on your belt, not having to run back up the beach to get your bait. But a bait bucket is my 10th option. And the last one that I've included here is something that I have, which is not with me at the moment because I lent it to a friend and I want to shoot this video now. So a kayak boat anchor, this is what it looks like. If I take it back to my page, get rid of that. This isn't my page, but that's what they look like. You basically float it off the back and tie it on. What that does is that saves you from having to drift if you don't want to, or it can slow down your drift if you're in current. So if you found, I use mine's an aluminium one that looks exactly the same as that. I use it because there's a big hole that we like to fish in, and I will get myself just to the edge of that hole. I will drop my anchor and it basically holds me over the top of the hole for a little while, and I can have a fish around in there without moving around on the kayak. Obviously I can go to the bank, but where this hole is, it's just easy to be on top of it. Just drop straight down and off you go. So a kayak boat anchor is the other option that I use. So that's it, guys. That's my 11 kayak fishing accessories. They're the 11 things that I take with me almost every time. I have them in a nice little section on the shelf in my garage. I know where the boat anchor is. I know why it's not here. I know where the fish lip gripper is, and I know where the waterproof bag is. Fish lip grippers, for those of you who aren't sure one of those, got a picture of one here. It's not mine, but that's what they look like. You can go in there and buy them about 30 bucks. If you click on that link, it'll take you to one. It's an affiliate link, but that will take you there. So that's my 11 accessories, as I say. So life jacket, mandatory in many places, including where I am. Your trolley, a net for bringing the fish in, leashes so you don't lose your paddle, a waterproof bag to keep stuff dry, knife, pliers, fish lip grippers, just because you need them, cutting things, holding things, fixing things. What else we got? Sun protection, keep a bag if you like one, if you want to keep your fish alive, or if you just want to keep them all in one spot. A bait holder for keeping your bait, and a folding anchor if you're in currents and drift everywhere. That's it. Hope that was helpful for you guys. If you're watching this within YouTube, please like and subscribe to my channel. That way I can keep you up to date with things I find. If you're watching this from the post and there's anything else that you take on a kayak that you'd like us to know about, or something you refuse to take out of my list that you don't, or reasons different than mine, if you have a different opinion, again, that's what I love about fishing. Everyone has a different opinion. Please comment below. Would love to have a chat. Okay guys, happy fishing. Chat to you soon. Bye.